Welcome to Previously on X-Men, the podcast that looks back on X-Men comics, TV shows, movies, and more. I'm Eric Mickles, and with me is my co-host Nick Gunning.
Hey, no, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, sorry, Nick. You know what happened? I actually talked to Mojo, and Mojo got Spiral to teleport you here.
Oh, okay.
And
wow. Okay.
Apparently, ratings. We need to hire ratings, and you, sir. Yeah, you are like the hold on, let me pick the perfect character. Okay. You are this show's I've got an Archangel.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. No, okay, I don't want to jump ahead, but they don't know Angel, but they do know Iceman from the past. Is that right?
Yeah. You know what? Right? I'm sorry, you're this show's Iceman because you're kind of goofy. You make fun jokes.
Yeah. All I know is Hilary was like, "Hey, Eric's calling you on Discord. Why don't you go talk to him?" And so I came in here.
Yeah.
She's gone. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Earlier today, she was like, "Hey, I'm doing some podcast prep. I'm going to toss on the X-Men episode."
Yeah. Well, I don't know why she would have told you that, but hey, today we're talking about Longshot, which is a Mojo episode.
Okay.
You don't think that has anything to do with why you're here and Hilary's not, do you?
The last time you guys did an episode, you told her the next one was Mojo, and she promised that she would do it. So it must be a crossed wire or something. I don't know.
Why would she say one thing and then do another? That would be very Mojo of her.
It would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, do you think maybe she didn't want to do this episode because I'm sick?
You do sound a little, there's a rasp to you there.
Thank you. Yeah. I've been sick for a couple of days. It's great.
Hey, it's not unattractive.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're pulling it off. I think it sounded
nice.
This
voice?
Yeah, okay. It's got a rasp to it. I like it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I should only do voice work when I'm sick then.
Yeah, probably.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
Yeah, the past couple of days while I've been sick. How have you been keeping busy?
Actually, I went to the Flower City Comic-Con over in Rochester, New York, and it was pretty fun. I'd never been to that particular one before.
Same.
Decent amount of guests there. I don't remember his name. I'm so sorry. The guy who plays Bruno in Ms. Marvel, her pal Bruno, was there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went to his panel, and he just kind of talked about Marvel TV and that whole experience. So that was cool. I met Charlie Schlatter, who I knew probably originally back in the day from 18 Again with George Burns. Then he was on Diagnosis Murder. Now he's like the king of the voiceover. He does Flash in a lot of the modern stuff.
Right.
Where you hear Flash talk, Kick Buttowski, all sorts of stuff. Closest it came to X-Men was voicing Howard Stark in Avengers, the animated series.
Oh, okay.
Close. No cigar.
Yeah.
But I got a signed picture from the Batman because he voiced Flash in the Batman, and I love that show. So
all right. Yeah, you do love that show.
It was better than being sick all weekend. That's for sure.
I've just been watching movies. That's all I've been doing. I've just been on the couch watching movie after movie.
Yeah, you keep texting me the most random things. One was Notting Hill. One was Austin Powers 2.
Yeah, I rewatched Austin Powers 2 because I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's see if it holds up. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, I watched Punch Drunk Love for the first time. That was stressful.
Oh, I've never actually seen that, but I typically like Adam Sandler's more serious stuff like Reign Over Me and Spanglish and stuff. I usually like them.
Well, it's a stressful time. I watched it because I had just watched Boogie Nights, and so I was like, let's watch Paul Thomas Anderson movies.
Okay.
And this one was only 90 minutes, but it's a stressful 90 minutes.
Oh.
But there's some very funny moments, and then there's also some very I watched The Green Mile yesterday.
Never seen The Green Mile. I'm a big Stephen King fan. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
Speaking of 3 hours, I also just watched King Kong this morning.
Like Jack Black King Kong?
Yeah, Peter Jackson's King Kong, probably more.
You love that movie.
I do love it. I was feeling the rewatch. I was feeling... You've never seen it?
No, you've never made me watch that movie.
I don't know if it's totally your jam. It's definitely like... It's the King Kong movie for people who just love cinema. You know what I mean?
I do.
Because there are people who it's 3 hours, it's too long, and I'm like, but I like that first hour, and then I like that middle hour, and then it's definitely like, I don't know, it's that type of film.
Okay.
You've got to enjoy the process and the whole magic of movies, I guess.
Yeah.
I also watched a Hong Kong film called Fallen Angels. So
okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's your criteria here. Are you just like throwing a dart on a wall or just
I have some movie like I had recently watched the Chungking Express, which was also a Hong Kong film, and then Fallen Angels was by the same person. It was kind of the same tone and everything. I don't know. Yesterday it was all 1999 movies. That's why I got Green Mile, Notting Hill, and Austin Powers 2 in there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I definitely saw Austin Powers 2 in theaters with just 2 friends. We were the only ones in the theaters.
Oh, really? Wow.
And we laughed hysterically, like nonstop.
Yep. Yeah. When I first saw it, I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. And this time, I don't think I laughed out loud once.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So I watch it. I'm like, this is funny, but nothing elicit like an actual physical response out of me.
Do you think that Goldmember would hold up better?
I don't know. I should rewatch that one. Maybe you've said its benefit is that it's actually a different movie than the first two.
For sure, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
The last I haven't seen Austin Powers in quite a while, but I rewatched it with my brother. I don't know, within the last 5 years or so, and I was struck by just how similar Austin Powers and The Spy Who Shagged Me are, like beat for beat.
Yeah, the first one's still pretty funny.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
The second, it has funny moments. It's just it has an energy and but it just by the time it's over. And Heather Graham is just so.
I remember. She's a very wooden delivery in that movie,
and no chemistry. I don't know how you think you're getting a net gain by replacing Elizabeth Hurley with Heather Graham on any level.
Was Hurley just not interested? I don't think I know that story.
I assume it was probably just them being like, well, we have to replace her, just like Bond movies replace them and everything. I mean, Hurley shows up to do things for the beginning of Austin Powers 2. I imagine Hurley would have been totally game. So, and you know what? In those brief seconds where she's in Austin Powers 2, she's such a stronger presence than Heather Graham. Really anyway, today we're talking about the X-Men animated series episodes Longshot and Cold Comfort.
Let's do it.
Nick and I have podcasted before, and this is just some of the magic that has happened before.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that is true.
Nick, we're talking about the episode Longshot first.
Okay. This
episode is technically episode 36 in production order, and is now episode 36 when you watch it on the Disney thing. And Disney is now the only place. Disney Plus is the only place it will play in order, because I've got the DVDs. They are not in order. It's number 67 on the DVD. It aired. So this is supposed to, follow up the Phoenix Saga and everything.
Right.
Those aired in 1994.
Just thinking about what you guys covered last time, the No Mutinies in Island and stuff, Cyclops is off doing his own thing, and we have no Cyclops in this episode, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Obsession, which was right before this, which would have been, is technically episode 35. Yeah. That aired in 94 as well. Longshot aired October 5th, 1996.
Wow.
Yeah. So to quote Eric Lewald from the previous on X-Men book, he says... This is one of the other of our 2 episodes from season 3 that was delayed 2 years due to what appears to be a cost-saving attempt to use a cheaper animator and not pay for supervision, which shows in this episode.
Yeah. They become almost like amorphous sometimes. It's like they're turning or they're running or something. It's kind of cease to.
It's awful. Yeah,
it is very noticeable.
This animation style is no good. That's one of the first. I mean, you get that. You get the 1996 intro, which is just blah, because it's that really cheesy. It takes a really cool theme that could be cheesy and makes it cheesy.
Yeah,
with that, and also it's like clip shows instead of the character intros. I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
and the animation hits, and it's like the first thing you just see Wolverine and Jubilee in the car. Wolverine teaching her to drive, and it's just like, oh,
yep.
I don't know.
It's you can tell right away. And as soon as the wrong intro starts, I was watching this with my son, and he was like, "What?" I know. Yeah, I know, man. It's tough. It's tough time.
Kids pick up on that crap.
Yeah. I thought it was smart to have Jubilee in this one, since she sat out. She was like the only one who sat out the last Mojo episode.
Yeah.
So smart.
This episode is kind of based on X-Men Volume. What I can't remember if it's Volume 1 or Volume 2. The new X-Men series that was starting in the 90s that Jim Lee and Chris Claremont spearheaded. That's like the $1 million seller. So this is kind of based on episodes 10 and 11, in that Mojo and Longshot visit. Well, Longshot was already there, but the idea that they're together here with the X-Men and with Jubilee and stuff is kind of based on those 2 issues. But
okay.
Dazzler doesn't show up, so doesn't matter. Yeah.
I love me a good Dazzler cameo. I don't know if you noticed in the background when he's teaching her to drive, they're in front of a dry cleaners and it's called Take Me to the Cleaners. And I thought
that's
that was
funny. I didn't see that.
Little piece of set dressing in the background. Yeah. I like that.
Longshot sounds like Jubilee. I mean, Longshot. Oh wait, I've got the wrong episode. Longshot sounds like Cyclops to me in this.
Yeah. I hear that.
He's voiced by Rod Wilson, and Rod Wilson is the voice of Gorgeous George with the Nasty Boys.
Yeah.
Worst. Sorry, Mr. Nasty. If you're nasty,
yeah.
Nasty. I don't know.
But he's all. This is the same Longshot voice from the first time, right? Everybody's reprising their roles here.
Yeah, he played Mojo and he played Longshot in Mojo Vision.
Yeah.
He played Spartan in the Wildcats TV show. Do you remember when Wildcats had an animated series?
I do. Yeah.
On the USA Network, I want to say.
Yeah, I think it was when they were doing the Cartoon Express era.
Yeah. There was something else he plays. He later plays, and this was fun because of the next episode. He plays Havoc in X-Men Mutant Academy 2 for the PS1.
Oh.
And he was a character in Mutant X, the TV show from 2001.
Yeah. What a weird thing.
Also, he plays Ant-Man on Avengers United They Stand.
Okay.
From 1999 to 2000. I do not remember that Avengers show at all.
Oh, I do.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, boy, it's so much wanted to be like the Avengers equivalent of the X-Men, but the weirdest thing about it is that like the marquee Avengers just aren't in it. Like Thor. Iron
this is like the War Machine.
It's like
wow, that's so much later than I thought it was.
The opening credits feature heavily Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, and they're just like not in it. Like I think two of them maybe do one episode, but yeah, weird. Timing.
And Mojo is voiced by Peter Wildman.
Yeah.
And isn't he a wild? He was on SCTV.
Really?
For a little bit, yeah. He sounds like the guy that is the villain in that Mutant X, the Generation X TV movie.
Yeah, he does. Actually, I thought the same thing. The guy who voices like Max Headroom and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. The Max Headroom guy seems like a pretty good Mojo.
Yep.
And he seems like he's doing a Max Headroom impression with this.
He does.
So, but no, Peter Wildman, his only Marvel credits that I can find are X-Men, the animated series, as Mojo for these two. Oh, never mind. He plays Cardinal in Avengers United They Stand.
Okay.
There we go. Anyway, yeah, Longshot shows up just like teleported out of the sky, hanging out. Hi, Jubilee. And they disappear, and Wolverine just yells Jubilee.
Yeah.
A little exaggerated, I feel like.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Jubilee!
I think there's a lot in it. I think it probably harkens back to the weird animation because there's a lot of things here, I think particularly with Wolverine, that do feel a little off. But like, if it was, like if the scene was structured around that, like there's a world in which his performance makes sense, but it's not this world.
Nope. Just running out of the store, screaming it. It's like, well, they're gone. War wolves show up.
Oh, yeah. I like those guys.
The werewolves?
Yeah, look like little impalas, like on the front of a car. I like them.
Yeah, they do. I'm pretty sure they're mainly Excalibur villains.
Okay.
Creatures that show up. So yeah,
I used to religiously read the backs of Marvel trading cards. You know, like I get them, and like I have all this all this Excalibur knowledge in my head from the back of those cards. Never read never read a single Excalibur comic. No, not one.
And Mojo shows up. Which is and you know what? This animation style does Mojo no favors.
No.
You would think maybe a looser animation style would, but it's it's weirdly gross and stiff.
It is.
So
yeah, I don't want to look at it, but
yeah. But he shows up, and he's also. I feel like the writing isn't there for Mojo in this episode either.
I agree. He doesn't have enough to do. I was remembering this episode when we talked about Mojo Vision. You know, you were like, "Oh, he comes back for Longshot," and in my memory, Mojo is more of a cameo in that. And I feel like watching this,
he might as well be.
It's because he doesn't really have anything to do, but he is there quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, this episode doesn't really have like a point of view or a purpose. So it makes it like the Mojo Vision episode. It's just kind of like this out of nowhere, standalone, zany episode that's been dealing with some character specific things, and then after that's going to be that 2-part final. So let's just do this fun little episode. Like and this one, this one just doesn't. It's not filling that void, and it doesn't have a reason to exist.
No, it doesn't. So, I mean, I don't love the Mojo Vision episode, but like this is not a fun episode.
Yeah, because it's just Mojo's going to go to Earth to get Longshot, and he's going there for the ratings, kind of. But they have to like convince him to do it, and then like, why is Domo convincing him to do it? It doesn't ever. Domo doesn't have like an ulterior motive. He's just go there or something, and so there's just too much going on for this. It's like we got to go there to get Longshot because of the rebellion, and I've got my other guys with me, and the werewolves don't come back, and I don't know. Before it was like, okay, Longshot's jealous because of the ratings, and you got Spiral who's a little unhappy, but then here everything's just kind of played straight with Mojo.
Yes, and it's like Longshot before had a little bit, like you said, he had some stuff going on. He was jealous. He didn't want to be replaced.
Right.
He has no personality or character here.
Yeah, and they say his mind is a blank, but he also then remembers everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
the best part about this opening sequence is when Jubilee mocks Storm with her powers. That's the best part.
Oh yeah, and I remember that being used again later, but it's not.
Oh, so yeah, this is the only time she does that.
Yeah, the whole Jubilee, mistress of the firework,
fire. Yeah. It was solid. I liked it. I like when the show can poke fun at itself.
Yeah. Jubilee has a crush on Longshot.
Yeah.
I wonder if Jubilee will have a crush on every single male guest star that shows up.
Sure seems like it.
In this in these two episodes that we'll talk about.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. She so they bring Longshot to the mansion, and Wolverine doesn't trust him at all. And he's real cranky. And
at this point, Wolverine's only interaction with Longshot was the Mojo Vision episode?
Yeah, and even then, they don't really interact with Longshot. Longshot kind of does stuff behind the scenes.
Right, but when Jubilee first disappears, Wolverine like sniffs the air and is like, Longshot.
Yeah, I can smell him. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Boy, his mullet is disgusting.
Longshot's, yeah.
Oh my gosh, he looks like Linda McCartney. I can't even.
Jeez.
It's not pleasant.
Yeah, Lyndall Hamilton and Terminator 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
But yeah, somebody, who is it? Is it Rogue? Who's like, she's kind of sweet on him. Yeah. Who else would say it with that southern twang? And she's like, in case you didn't notice, and Wolverine's like, I noticed. Snicked.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jubilee has a crush on him. She says, I'm 15. I mean 17. Like, that's going to fool anybody.
I know. But also, maybe like if you're lying, amp it up a year, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, if you're Longshot, he's an alien. What does he know about human ages? Maybe he's like, sure.
Yeah.
What does that matter to human culture?
I too am 15 Glornox years old.
Yeah. She doesn't know how old he is in Glornox or Earth years.
The years to Glornox conversion table has confused me since elementary school.
It's a mess. Yeah.
It really is.
It's because of their leap year. How they don't actually count birthdays on their leap year. So then you're always missing a couple of years.
Yeah. So factor in a couple extra Glornox, one way or the other. That's a rule of thumb.
Mojo has a line though where he says something. He's like, "We're gonna take him out. There's gonna be action, suspense, no violence. Let's leave that for the news and talk shows." And I'm like, "Yeah, all right,
yeah, okay."
Because that was a problem in the '90s. You can't be too violent in your cartoons, but I just watched 2 movies that had Jerry Springer in them.
Wow, you did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he's in Austin Powers. Yeah,
he's in Austin Powers, but also the Green Mile. Its frame story has a bunch of people in a folks home watching Jerry Springer, and one of them being like, "Why are we watching this?"
Huh.
So,
a lot of Jerry Springer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was 99.
Mojo makes fun of Barney at one point too, but I guess maybe.
Yes. Yeah, that comes up. Oh, so I guess Longshot said okay because Xavier's like me probing Longshot's mind must be Longshot's decision, but we never see him say yes. We just cut to him on a table.
Yeah.
Having his mind scanned, right, Xavier?
And Xavier's like, well, he didn't ask me not to, so,
So we get the whole story. There's a rebellion. Here's the thing. I like Mojo for the most part. Like, I'm definitely the bigger Mojo fan on this episode, on this podcast.
Maybe on the planet. Maybe.
But when you play Mojo stuff straight with the whole, like, rebellion, it's always so boring. Do not worry about having a rebellion on Mojo's planet. Just have him there doing whatever zany thing he's doing, making fun of whatever producer or editor thing you got to have him do, and then move on. But I never am a fan of like, we must rebel against Mojo. It's like, and then what?
Right.
And then you're free now to also have your own show. Congratulations, you're streamers.
Right. I mean, Mojo is essentially one joke. He's one big, green, disgusting, poorly animated joke. And like, if you're not going to do that and you're going to be like, no, but let's really get into the politics of Mojo's
He's
world.
a dictator and he must be overthrown.
Yeah.
But why? From what? His TV planet?
Right.
I don't know.
You're the one who loves him. I don't know.
At one point, they realize they need to stop that, and Mojo shows up or something. I can't even remember most of this episode. I just watched it. It all just kind of blurs between even that like big guy. I can't remember his name. I'm going to call him Grog. I don't think it's Grog.
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Gog.
Gog. Okay. Yeah, well, I wasn't too far off.
No, you were right there.
There's a scene where Longshot is just standing there. I can't remember who he's talking to. Probably Wolverine. It is. They're talking because they're trying to find Jubilee, who's been captured, and they realize the area's been kind of changed around, and it's a butt shot of Longshot, and it's just like so pronounced. I had to write down Longshot butt shot.
You had to.
It's just like they were animating it like, no, rounder, coupler.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yep. Picture yourself tossing a quarter at Longshot. What would happen?
Yep. I'm sure they brought in like a pumpkin, put it down in front of the animators and say, draw.
Look at this. The word of the day is thick. Draw it.
Anyway, so he's got a mullet and a really swole butt.
He does. He does. He never skips a butt day.
No. They go into Camp Cretaceous. Nick, you love Camp Cretaceous.
I mean, I don't, but I did think it was kind of funny that like in this spoof, they're like spoofing Jurassic Park. Like, what if there was a Jurassic Park kid show called Camp Cretaceous? And now there really is a Jurassic Park kid show called Camp Cretaceous.
Your son likes it.
Mojo did it. He predicted it. Yes, we did. My son and I did watch the whole first season together. We didn't get too far into the second. It was sort of like almost too creepy for him at times.
Oh, okay.
He'd probably be down with it now.
All right, because he's older.
Yeah, he's older. He's hipper. He's wiser.
The
only before we move on from Mojo too much, the only like TV show parody that we had was one shot of Jubilee and the Brady Bunch. And that was it.
Kind of, yeah. In the first Mojo Vision episode, did that already.
Yeah, right.
And had a lot. Yeah.
And here we just like are kind of repeating that joke. How about when Mojo says "Sorry, Sugar"? Have we gotten to that point in the episode yet? Because I did like that.
When he makes fun of Rogue, that's pretty funny.
That was pretty. Funny.
And you're right. There is a Barney episode because there's a purple dinosaur.
Yeah, to be like the kids will love it.
Yeah, and you know what? They're always whenever they're trying to kill them, they don't say kill them, destroy them. They say cancel them.
Yeah, I like that too.
And well, I don't know. It kind of actually. It hits a little hard in 2022.
Oh, sure.
It hits differently when you hear somebody like cancel them. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Delete your tweets quick.
You're not even on social media anymore. You don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's better now.
You think Twitter's better now? It got better?
No, it didn't.
Spiral is also there, and she's really mad at Longshot. She's like, and Wolverine's like, what's her problem? And he's just like, we used to date. So that made me laugh.
That's a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, because they kind of hit it off at the end of Mojo Vision.
Right.
They had that really funny line where he's like, I used to date a woman with two heads. Oh, was she nice? Yes and no.
Yeah.
See, that stuff was funny. This one, where's this?
Honestly, yeah, I'm begging for those kind of puns this time around, wordplay.
And then this episode just kind of ends because they're all fighting and Longshot could stab him. And Longshot can stab Mojo, and Mojo's like, "Get us out of here!" And Spiral just makes them all disappear.
Get them out, yeah.
And that's it.
This was a situation where I was like, "I'm gonna refill my drink," and then I was like, wait, it's over? What happened?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's just like
Spiral has a line where she says, "I want a rematch," and then she's like, "On pay-per-view, and I want 50% of the merchandise and all this stuff." I'm like, okay, here, maybe the quote will help. From the book previously on X-Men: The Making of an Animated Series by Eric
had
Lewald.
Them on the show.
Yeah. He says the two Mojo episodes have their own fast-paced comic tone, much as the two Harry Mudd episodes in the original Star Trek series. They take on the personality of the comic guest villain in ways others don't. Viewers tend to either love the Mojo episodes, especially the first one, or find them oddly atypical. They are filled with Hollywood in-joke, the rapid fire Robin Williams like / we tried dialogue.
Okay.
Was wildly different tone, handled nicely by voice actor Peter Wildman.
I would say that neither one of them quite go far enough, though. Certainly this one doesn't, but even the Mojo one, back then, when we did that episode, we were kind of complaining about, like, there weren't really enough parodies.
Yeah.
And, like, the parodies never really landed.
And well, he said,
doing them.
When they talk about how they take on the personality of the comic guest villain, that first episode does have, like, more of a Mojo episode, whereas this one, it's Mojo being put into the straight X-Men first.
Right.
And that doesn't work. Jubilee gets her first kiss in this.
Oh.
When Longshot says goodbye. I mean, he kisses her on the cheek, but,
She counts it. She counts it in her diary.
Yeah. Dear diary, today I met the hunkiest alien with only 3 fingers.
This was just kind of a rough watch. I don't know. This was like a very skippable episode.
Yeah, it's trying to do... If Mojo had only showed up in that first episode, it would have been enough. It would have been that zany Mojo episode, but then this one just kind of, I don't know. It doesn't work. It doesn't do anything for Longshot. It doesn't do anything for Mojo. Neither character show up again.
Right. Well, I kind of think, like, to my memories of this episode, I think it probably would have served it better if they would have spent, like, don't have Mojo, spend more time actually making Longshot a character, and then have Mojo kind of pull him back in the end as a cameo, and then you're like, hey, it's Mojo, but here... Yeah,
I've got affection for Longshot that I didn't always have because I had recently reread the Claremont stuff, and his time with the X-Men, especially during the Mark Silvestri art years and everything, like where they're in Australia and everything, like him and Dazzler are like really cool X-Men fun characters to have, and then they just kind of disappear from the comics, and then. So I was hoping I would like this episode a little bit more now that I had that Longshot appreciation, and I did not.
Yeah. No, it doesn't really quite land. I'm reading the Claremont stuff, but I haven't gotten to that part yet with Longshot in it. So I don't have a lot of, like, I'm sure I've bumped into Longshot in comics and things before, but it's primarily these episodes, and this just doesn't further his story at all.
Yeah, Longshot stuff, like it's the post Mutant Massacre stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
So post Mutant Massacre, the X-Men have this really crazy energy that, like, I just ate up. Anyway, so I would give this episode a thumbs down. Same. We don't really do thumbs downs or thumbs ups here, but yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay, no, I didn't like it either.
So
I did like the X-Men parody of Mambo No. 5 you did over on 90s Music Got Me a while back.
Thanks, man.
That was it was if you're not listening to 90s Music Got Me, like, go find it. Find the Mambo No. 5 episode. It's worth it for the X-Men in jokes. Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, did you appreciate the 90210 one?
Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the pattern for Mambo No. 5 is right there.
It's right there. Yeah.
But man, you knocked it out of the park twice in a row. You reached for the stars that day.
Thanks, man. That episode was a zany episode in itself.
It was sort of it took on the characters of the guest villain, I think.
Yeah.
In that episode, wouldn't you say?
Which was
Lou Bega.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, the next episode is called Cold Comfort. And you know what, Nick? I understand Hilary abandoning this show and myself. And in you, in this case. I mean, she put you here and then she left you to deal with it.
Left me out in the cold.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
But it's good that you're here because outside of myself, you're probably the biggest Iceman fan I know.
Okay.
You're probably a bigger Iceman fan than me in a lot. I don't know.
Thank you for that correction.
He was my favorite X-Men for a long time until he was replaced by Rogue. So I'm a pretty big Iceman fan, but I think in terms of just like, I mean, you're a big Iceman fan from the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends days.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I also have a lot of affection for the classic team too. Like whenever they do something with
that's
X-Men,
true.
I like it. And the X-Men action figure line, which I know we've talked about in our lives. I don't know if we've ever talked about it on this podcast, but like that was a full-time job for me. Going through those X-Men, because Toys R Us would have a wall of them, and I was constantly searching. And Iceman was really hard to find. And the Iceman action figure that came in that set was all clear, like you could completely see through it. And I just thought that was the coolest thing that existed. And I finally got it for Christmas one year, and I was so excited. But yeah, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, that action figure, and just in general, Iceman in comics is always kind of rises to the top for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because he's like he gets to be the jokey fun character, but he's also got like the coolest powers.
Let me ask you this. Hilary and I were talking about Iceman, and I said that I feel like as much as I like Iceman, if somebody was like, quick, name X-Men, it would take me a while to say Iceman. Is that me being crazy, or are you?
I think, well, he eventually, and I don't know where it is, sometime in the 90s, maybe like past, I don't know. He starts to become just one of those like statesman characters who's just there, but then they don't necessarily have stuff to do with him. That changed, I feel like, he got more of the spotlight again when he came out of the closet.
True.
As a gay character in the comics. But I feel like for a while, they're just like, what do you do with a character who's been around since 1963?
Yeah.
I feel like, but
did you ever read the old Champions series?
I never see. Did you read Champions?
I did read Champions.
You are the bigger Iceman fan then.
Yeah. It's bizarre. It's such a weird grouping. You should. I want you to read it and tell me what you think of it, because it is odd.
Bobby would be in my top 4, I think.
Would he? Okay.
Yeah. You got Rogue, Wolverine, Havoc, and Iceman, I think.
Okay.
So
I mean, it's a good bunch. I guess I feel like most of the time when you see Iceman, he's like, in the movies, he's not really part of the main team. In this, he's only in the one episode. He's hardly an X-Men Evolution. It's just like they don't feature Iceman as an X-Men that often. So I sort of think of him as his own thing in my head.
Yeah, the movies like play him up, but then never use him right.
No, they don't really.
So, yeah. But anyways, he gets a whole episode here. This originally aired February 4th, 1995. Were you still watching X-Men Saturday mornings in 1995?
It's weird. I really thought that I was going to watch this episode and be like, oh, right, the Iceman episode. Right. I have zero memories of this.
Yeah.
So maybe I just missed it, I mean, it was easier to just miss one. Yeah. But I don't remember this at all.
Hey, I should have said Longshot was written by Stephen Melching and David McDermott. And then this episode is written by Len Yule.
Okay.
So here we go.
Make a note.
Okay. So we meet 2 security guards who are basically Laurel and Hardy.
Pretty much.
I'm telling you, it's humid. Well, humid, it is. It's the heat.
Did you catch the Jack Kirby reference?
Well, no, I missed it. What was it?
Right when they're going to this compound, it says I think it says the Glenn Kirby, something like that. But it says Kirby 1917 is the address, and of course Jack Kirby, co-creator of the X-Men, born in 1917. So
okay,
to Kirby right there.
Yeah,
I love me some Jack Kirby.
Yeah, that's probably a Larry Houston reference then.
Could be.
Because Houston's the comic. Larry Houston, who directs the episodes, is the comic book guy who fits in as many cameos and stuff like that as he can.
Yeah.
But yeah, Iceman shows up. Iceman is voiced by Jesse Collins.
Yeah.
Jesse Collins had something else I thought was interesting to share with you.
The only thing that I recognized was there was a show when I was a kid called Rin Tin Tin Canine Cop, and he played Hank Katz on Rin Tin Tin for the whole run.
Okay.
So I was like, he was that guy,
He's an ad executive in the Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen.
When they're all sitting around the table and they're
I guess,
okay.
Look out, kids, Santa Claus got a tank.
Right, yeah.
So
are you excited about that Tim Allen Santa Claus Disney Plus show?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Same. I just wasn't sure.
I mean, yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No,
I wish I could.
I'm sorry I brought it up. I just thought Iceman and snow,
Yeah. It's another snowy thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, not too many credits that I can find. Darkman 2, The Return of Durant.
Oh, that's where the Darkman series really came into its own.
All right, more about Cold Comfort.
Okay.
So Wolverine wakes up to his alarm and he claws his... Okay, Wolverine actually kind of kills me in this episode. He's got a lot of very funny moments. He claws his clock instead of hitting the snooze button, and then he's like, ugh, I hate when I do that. I love it, because it's one of those things that, cartoons do. Wolverine uses his claws to turn off his clock, and then you're like, but does he have to do that every day to get a new clock? But it's involuntary here.
All it was missing was him opening the closet door, being like, oh, I gotta get another one out.
Oh, that'd be great. Him unboxing it, having to plug it in, having to set it.
Yeah. Oh, I got the claws again.
I got the minute wrong. I gotta rotate around again.
Oh, Gene's dead. Jubilee. This was a Wolverine episode where his his like headpiece, the cowl, whatever you want to say, the horns were ginormous.
Yep. Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, it feels like also like a different animation studio.
It does. Yeah.
I mean, it came out a little bit later. It came out in 95, as opposed to 94. So maybe they did have somebody, but it's closer in style to what we're used to. But it is, a little.
There were moments where he looked like Sally Field in The Flying Nun.
Oh wow. He also says if he doesn't when he's getting on the plane, because the Xavier finds out there's a nice moment between Xavier and Jubilee where she wants to fly the jet and he's like, you got to stop acting like an impulsive child. And she says under her breath, well, maybe if you stop treating me one. He's like, I didn't catch that. say again.
Say for me.
But yeah, they're boarding the plane and Wolverine's like, okay, but if I don't get at least 7 hours, I'm cranky all day. This Wolverine is very knowing that he's a cranky guy. And he's trying to play up. He's trying to like, look, I know I'm hard to deal with. Here's a little humor to alleviate some things.
He was like the Fred Van Lente Wolverine First Class Hockey Dad version of Wolverine in this episode.
Yeah, between this episode and the last episode, there's a lot of Jubilee, like sick of being a kid, sick of treated being like a kid, all this stuff. They're really playing up that Jubilee stuff.
She's over it. I thought that was so weird, like thinking about that these were, whatever. They were planned to put these together.
Yeah.
Because Jubilee explores so many issues. And as you said earlier, she falls in love with a guest star and teams up with him. And it's it's weird to do those so close together.
You know what? I'm pretty sure the next 2 episodes are also, like it's a 2-parter in the Savage Lands. And I want to say they're very Jubilee heavy too.
Really?
Because she becomes... Yeah, it's been a while, but
I can't remember. Does a mall babe love chili fries? I can't.
Oh yeah, mall babes love chili fries. Savage Land, Strange Heart. Yeah, Jubilee has some stuff in that.
Okay.
Anyway,
the episode is going to be lit when Xavier shows up in his little like turtleneck, unbuttoned shirt with the rolled up sleeves.
Yeah. He explains to them what they're going at, and Cyclops is just at 11.
Oh my gosh.
And he never turns it down this episode. He is, as soon as he finds out that it's Bobby Drake, he's ready to bite Bobby in the throat and tear out his jugular vein.
He is. Why?
Throughout the episode, he's always like, you always pampered him. So maybe it's just this like, I did everything I was supposed to.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like the
it's like a big brother, little brother thing, right?
Yeah, but like the
Oh, but is that a thing? I don't remember there being a Cyclops Iceman rivalry in any comic I've read.
Not like this. Right. But it's played up as like the prodigal son, where he's like, "I've always been with you, Xavier. Where's my pig dinner?" He's like, "Well, you've always been here, but Bobby's, we found him or something."
Right.
Prodigal son.
Yeah.
But listen.
Okay.
I get where Cyclops is coming from, because as an oldest child who also did more what he was supposed to do than the younger siblings who got away with more. Yeah. Like that's there because you're like, but I've been responsible and I'm not getting new shoes. How come he's throwing a fit and you're taking him to get new shoes? But but Cyclops, he just never comes down from that. He never sees reason.
No, he doesn't. And I don't think they really have any kind of resolution between the two. Do you think?
No, not Cyclops and Bobby.
Yeah. It's I do like Beast sort of being like the peacekeeper, Beast kind of being like, hey, come on.
But like you said, there's no resolution, so that's not rewarded. There's a funny moment on the plane where Wolverine is like, so are we taking this guy down? And Xavier's like, no! We're not taking him down. And Cyclops is like, so we're with him? And he's like, no, of course not. He's attacking a facility. And Wolverine's like, glad we cleared that up.
Yeah. Like, I have that in my notes too. The whole with against thing was pretty funny.
Yeah. But yeah, Cyclops is just, he's being a bee.
Why do you think it is that they, like, I'm trying to remember back to the Angel Archangel episodes. Why is he not part of the fold and Iceman is seen as one of the originals? Because we get a lot of flashbacks to the original.
I don't know. I think, those flashbacks, they're just confusing.
Yeah, they are.
Because they also show Magneto, but I'm pretty sure we're supposed to assume that Magneto meets the X-Men for the first time when we meet Magneto in the cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess they just want to have their cake and eat it too with like comic book continuity, but also the show continuity.
Yeah.
But I don't think it ever cleans up.
It's such a weird use of Iceman. Like, I don't know why they didn't use him more, but then to use him here and just have it just be so unresolved and like, here's a founding member of the X-Men.
And then never use him again.
See you never. Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby's head when he animation wise, when he de-ices and he's just Bobby Drake, his head always seems smaller than his body.
It does. Well, he seems very like lithe and like big and tall, and then he's got this like
tiny
odd
little
head.
Yeah.
Odd that he's still wearing the X-Men uniform.
Yep.
A weird choice.
Yeah. But anyway, him and he's like attacking the facility and everything. The X-Men show up. He freezes Wolverine, and then Cyclops blast him. And I don't know what's going on with the animation, where it looks like they just took a cell and then moved it by hand over the cell of Wolverine being frozen, but they did it in like 2 pieces.
Oh,
it looks awful.
Notice that. Now I need to go back and look.
And Xavier's like, I'll come in and help. And instead of like freezing everybody in their place or just having them go, let's all go home, he makes them think the Brood is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're big.
It's a big swing for Xavier. Not a successful one, but a big one.
No.
Look, I don't hate Bobby's X-Men outfit. Like, it's kind of cool to see. And you got the light blue and the black. It's very different from the other like kind of standard colors.
I mean, it's that it's that early 90s look where he's on the gold team,
right,
or the blue team, whichever team he was on. But yeah, it is also like, why are you still wearing this, man? Seems like you do like the X-Men.
Yeah. When does Cyclops call him an apple polisher? Because I have never in my life heard.
No, Bobby calls Cyclops the apple polisher.
Right, yeah.
It's
never heard that phrase. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but
he says, "You want to go, apple polisher? I'm right here."
Yeah,
it's very good.
It is. I know,
I love it.
But he's pulling out. I feel like that's a thing you'd say in like 1951.
Sure, yeah. When people are giving
when
teachers apples,
polishing teacher apples. Yeah.
Did you ever give a teacher an apple?
Did I?
I did.
Did you?
I was always susceptible to TV stuff like that, so it's like
you gave teachers apples.
And cartoons always showed that happening. So I was like, all right, I'll bring an apple in for my teacher.
Why an apple? Like, what's the history of apples and teachers? Where does it come from? Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, we gotta really figure it out.
I thought you might.
So yeah, that we get the X-Men origin stuff when we see them like as a team fighting the Super Adaptoid and Magneto.
And I don't remember ever having seen anything like that in this series before.
No, that's the first time I think we see like the original, and then like Iceman. But you're right. They only just met Archangel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would have been kind of an interesting 1-2 thing if it was like both of the originals like have this weird. But Archangel, they just kind of leave that on the table, which is also in the Champions, by the way. So, check it out. Yeah,
maybe Hercules is on his way to this show.
Maybe he is.
What was they've got a gravity prison that Beast built for healing.
Didn't they take it from somebody? I feel like they took it
from Tech.
Shi'ar.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Xavier's like, I don't know. Put him in that thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Eventually, because Bobby, the episode doesn't have a lot going on outside of, it's like, I want to get into the facility. I'm at the mansion. I go to the facility. That's Bobby's quest here.
Yeah.
So to kill time, he's not telling them why he's going into the facility.
Yeah.
Which if he told them, it would solve everything. But he's got this huge chip on his shoulder, which
ice chip.
An ice chip. Yeah. It also, like this whole story they're doing with Iceman, it kind of gets in the way of also letting Iceman be his Iceman self, which is like fun.
Yeah.
And goofy. He's trying to play this hard-edged character.
Right.
Which, I don't know.
Wouldn't this have been a better story for Angel?
Yeah.
Like personality-wise. I don't
know. Or Havoc.
True, yeah.
If they wanted to bring Havoc in. Because...
Hey, don't you have an apron with Havoc on it?
I do have a cooking apron with...
I forgot you.
Early 2000s designed Havoc.
Yeah.
That Nick got me.
Hey, enjoy that, my friend.
But Bobby finally tells Hank what was up. Him and Lorna Dane, Polaris.
Yeah.
She was also part of the X-Men.
Yeah.
Which we find out. She was not a founding member, but she joined the X-Men. She was almost she was injured or almost killed, and that really affected Bobby, and so they left and they were super in love, but then they started fighting, and then she disappeared.
But it was like they specifically were fighting when all the stuff about mutant registration and everything came up. And Polaris was like, we really should do something about this. And Bobby's like, no.
Not my problem.
We're done. Yeah. So she leaves, and
you know what? I used to know that, but I always forget that Bobby and Lorna dated at the early times.
I had to look it up. Like in the beginning, I was like, I know this name, I know this character, and then I was like, oh, right. Okay, right. But yeah, I forgot too.
Because her and Havoc are just such the always together couple, even though they're like a really bad couple together.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Summers brothers in love. They just
you don't
can't get it right.
You're putting your fate in very slippery hands when you date a Summers bro.
That's for sure. How about Vulcan? Did Vulcan ever find somebody settle down or?
His whole team died on their first mission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's not good. Yeah. I wrote Psych really hates Bobby. He must have
true.
It must have been when Iceman escaped.
Yeah.
And then was going there that Cyclops was like, I'm going to find him and snap his neck 3 ways.
I thought it was so cute that Beast brought him like a sandwich and a book and was like going to read to him while he's trapped, like he's floating in this Shi'ar tech. Very nice.
And then when he left,
he floating in something, I'd read to you. What would you like me to read? Just think about it.
Yeah, okay.
You want me to read Jurassic Park?
Sure.
Maybe like a classic Crichton, maybe? Congo? Yeah. I'd never read Congo, so I can read it to you.
Yeah, read me Congo then.
Okay, all right.
That's fun.
All right, I'll write that down.
So we hear Forge's voice.
Yeah.
Who and this is the first time we ever see Forge in the present. This is the first time we've seen him in the present.
Oh.
It's always been future Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But, I mean, if there's an older Forge, it's going to be a young Forge.
Got to be a younger Forge.
Here he is.
Yeah. Do you ever think about how in Back to the Future you see all the generations of Biff's family, but you never see a wife? Like, do these kids have moms? You know what I mean?
At one point, Cyclops says, Jubilee, how could you escape with this misfit? And I'm like, misfit?
Yeah.
Gee, like, F Cyclops, cool it.
Wow, yeah.
He has just lost anything here. I mean, like, he's a mutant, and you're calling this guy a misfit?
I know. I just don't think they ever, like, we're throwing around flashbacks. Give us a scene where, like, they have a real serious beef. Just a couple of lines, but it's just that, like, Bobby didn't want to be a part of the team anymore, I guess. It seems like more or less what the problem is. It's a real head scratcher.
But anyway, then they're there, and you hear somebody say something. I can't remember. You're not leaving. He's our prisoner. You're gonna have to fight us. Yabba yabba. It's it's Havoc and the X Factor.
Yeah,
Havoc and X Factor.
I love me some X Factor. Though I don't think I've read that era that was that team. Like I've read a ton of the Peter David X Factor stuff with like the classic, but I don't think I've read this group. Have you?
This is the Peter David.
No, but I've read the stuff where it was like they're mutant catchers.
Yeah, that's not Peter. That's Louise Simonson takes that over.
Oh, I guess I thought Peter. Okay, well,
Peter David takes over with this team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So who do we have here? We got Quicksilver, Strong Guy, Wolfsbane, Multiple Man, Havoc.
Polaris
shows up, but that's a spoiler, Nick, because we don't know that yet.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I could find no voice credit for this Havoc.
No, it was really strange. Yeah. A lot of them weren't listed.
Yep.
Is this the first time we see Wolfsbane in this series?
Yeah, I feel like it. I was trying to remember if it was just like a one-shot cameo, like No Mutant is an Island or stuff like that. But no, I think this is the first appearance for Quicksilver as well.
Yeah.
So Havoc technically has a first appearance in the Phoenix Saga as a young kid.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But this is his first time we see them. Yeah, I like this era.
No, but they don't actually address it other than like the powers not working. We never really get like a brother moment.
Yeah, during the fight, Cyclops and Havoc are fighting and their powers don't affect each other. And they're like, what? Huh?
Wait, it's a good thing they didn't misinterpret that and fall in love.
Yeah, sure.
I just think that would have been all sorts of problems.
There's a fun fight between the X-Men and X Factor.
Yeah,
and then Xavier uses his mental powers and is like, switch people you're fighting with. It's like most powerful mind in the world.
Yep, that's
in the universe, maybe.
Try something different.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who are you fighting? Let's try the other guy.
And so that works. And then the fight ends, and it turns out that Lorna is there. Polaris is there.
Yeah.
She's with them. Hey, Lorna is voiced by Terry Hawks. She does the voice of Polaris in this. She also voiced Shrieky on the Care Bears.
Oh.
Do you remember Shrieky?
Yes, of course. Yeah, what a career.
She's also the voice of Sailor Moon.
Oh, like English
yeah.
Sailor Moon. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she did 57 episodes of Sailor Moon and then a bunch of the movies.
Huh.
So we
do see. I'm pretty sure Polaris comes back in this series, doesn't she?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
She was also in a show, and I wanted to bring this up next. She was in a show called Beverly Hills Teens in 1987.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
I've never seen it, but I know what it is. It's like one of those cartoons that's probably chasing like a Gem and the Holograms kind of vibe, but
okay.
Yep.
Well, she was in an episode of Beverly Hills 90210. She played Adrian in You Gotta Have a Heart.
In early seasons.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just that one episode. Do you remember this character? You Gotta Have a Heart, Adrian?
No, I remember that episode. I'll have to go back and look now.
Well,
we're right around the time, like over on 902 and Here We Go. We're in 1996. So like with the first one, it was like right around the same time.
I mean, Bobby, if you had told me Bobby was being voiced by either Brendan or David from 90210, it would have made sense. Definitely, I think David.
Yeah, well, David, Brian Austin Green voices Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four cartoon.
There you go.
So,
wait, which one? The 90s one?
The 90s one, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, and of course, Luke Perry voices Rick Jones in The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, all right.
And Ian Ziering voices Harry Osborn in the MTV Spider-Man show. But that's it. That's all I could do for you.
So it turned out she disappeared because she wanted to join X Factor. She was recruited because of her experience with the X-Men, but she knew Bobby wouldn't go. So they just made it look like she was kidnapped?
Perfect. It's a flawless plan.
Maybe leave a Dear John.
I think I would. Yeah, I think it's only fair.
Hey, this will mean nothing to you, but Polaris, with her hairstyle in this cartoon and how she was being drawn at the time, she looks like the Final Fantasy VI portrait for Terra.
Boy, I wanted you to be wrong. I wanted to be like, no, I do care about that, but I don't have anything to add to that. You know who would?
Yeah.
Hilary.
She doesn't look like the sprite. She looks like when you put on the menu and you see characters with their kind of more artsy portraits. She looks like Terra a little bit. Or am I thinking Cells? Hold on. Maybe I'm thinking Celeste.
Hilary could tell you. I can't. I'm sorry. You're right, by the way. It is the Louise Simonson X Factor that I've read.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to have led you astray.
I was right about that.
You were. I never doubted you. I just need to see it with my own eyes. Speaking of seeing with your own eyes, didn't you see Louise Simonson from afar?
I did. I saw both the Simonsons, yeah.
Wow.
I'm thinking Terra. Anyway.
Okay.
Also, Havoc is there, and he's like, next... Cyclops says to Havoc next time. He's like, you can count on it or something.
Man, Cyclops just...
He's ready to fight everybody.
He is, yeah.
He would hate having a brother.
I think he would.
Which is a good thing he doesn't know that Havoc is his brother.
It actually kind of makes sense, I think, character-wise, that Cyclops is such a hot mess right now. When you think about, like, we're right on the heels of Jean.
That's true. Jean is dead. He just went to his old orphanage and it got burnt down.
He's in a raw place. You know what he should try? He should find someone who looks exactly like Jean and then like start a life with her. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I just think
someone who looks like she could be Jean's clone.
Yeah, look could be a clone is how close they
have a baby with them.
Have a baby. Yeah, but you know.
What if Jean comes back though? Should he stay with
No. All bets are off. I think
if Jean comes back, he should go back.
If Jean comes back.
Jean.
Yeah.
And leave his new wife and child.
I mean, I don't like it, but
yeah,
I mean that's what you got to do.
And if they get kidnapped by the Reavers or by the Marauders, just leave them to the Marauders.
I mean, in that scenario, don't you have to though?
Okay, yeah, sure. What if Apocalypse wants to kill your son though?
Oh, is there some sort of time travel situation that would maybe remedy that, or I don't know.
Oh, Cyclops, just get it together.
I know.
Anyway, that was Cold Comfort.
Hey, I don't mean to be a downer, but that's also kind of a bad episode.
It's not great. It's not great if you want like to see the stuff you like about Iceman.
For sure.
I guess for me, like I kind of perk up a bit when X Factor show up because I like that team.
Yeah.
But they're just there to fight. So like action-wise is fine. But I would have also just liked an X Factor episode then.
Yeah.
With that team interacting with the X-Men, and you get to see those, like, see how Wolfsbane and Strong Guy interact with the team instead.
Well, I mean, as with the Mojo episode before, like it doesn't give you the thing you want from that character.
Yeah.
So why do it? You know?
Yeah, it's not a fun class clown Iceman who has like cool powers. It's like, you better watch it because I'm gonna put on my leather jacket and get on my motorcycle and drive away, just like Iceman's known to do.
I don't need all your responsibility. I'm bad. I'm like a bad attitude.
Yeah. So give me an X Factor episode where like Cyclops and Havoc are like annoyed with each other because they're brothers.
Right.
I'll watch that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Do we ever get a Cyclops Havoc resolution in this series? I feel like no.
I don't think so. Havoc, I think, shows up again in the Phalanx episodes.
Huh.
But
do you think that was like in the long-term plans, or do you think they're holding
that back? Well, they're bringing it back for the Disney Plus without any of the voice actors. So
what? I thought it was all the voice
actors.
No,
but I mean, Cyclops, the voice actor of Cyclops is gone.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So cool. Wow. You can get a new voice actor for that. This reboot's not going to be good. It's not going to as soon as Wolverine opens his mouth in this reboot and you realize that the voice actor is 80 years old, you're going to be like, "Oh geez."
Yeah.
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 Remember when we watched
excited. You're thinking about Return of the Cape Crusader, aren't you?
Return of the Cape Crusader.
Yeah.
And Julie Newmar voices Catwoman.
Yeah. I think Burt Ward still sounded pretty good, but even Adam West was kind of like, "I'm the bright knight." It was everybody was old. Everybody was old. I would be a lot more excited if they just announced a new flashy X-Men show. I'd be more down for that.
That's the same thing. I wanted a brand new Wolverine and the X-Men was great. X-Men Evolution is great. Just give me a new X-Men series.
I know.
Where you can use newer continuity.
I'm with you.
But that's not what people want. Anyway, not the strongest episodes.
Mm-mm. And I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Savage Land. Well, isn't it? I feel like I had the VHS and it was Savage Land, Savage Hearts. Probably. But isn't it sometimes Strange Hearts? Savage Land, Strange Hearts?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a two-parter.
Yeah.
It's a Storm two-parter.
Yeah, I feel like I liked that one back in the day.
Yeah, it depends on your love of like the Savage Land and the Garrock stuff.
I have not seen it since the mid-90s, so.
All right.
I don't know.
I saw it recently.
Is Mojo in it?
No, he's not. He doesn't show up.
Probably, yeah. Then probably won't be my problem. It'll be Hilary's.
Cold Comfort was the first time I saw X Factor, like as a kid, because I didn't know much about X Factor. So that was the first time I heard the words "strong guy" used as a name. Okay. And me and my friend who were watching it, we like died laughing.
It's pretty funny.
We're like, his name is Strong Guy, and we just died.
I was weirdly excited to see Wolfsbane. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. She doesn't really have any. She doesn't have any dialogue.
No, but I mean, just see her like mixing it up with Beast and stuff. I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, you think Quicksilver would have anything to do too? Because he's been around since the '60s.
Oh yeah, that's right. I kind of forgot that Quicksilver was even in it.
Yeah,
yeah,
but he doesn't really do anything.
How did you feel about the New Mutants movie? Speaking of Wolfsbane,
it's fine. I liked it in pieces and parts.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of wish we would have seen where that was headed.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it would have been kind of fun. But I did appreciate seeing Wolfsbane here. And like you said, I mean, seeing X Factor on screen was cool, even though the episode was less than.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay.
Longshot and Cold Comfort. Not two of the best episodes, but at least they're in freaking order now on Disney Plus.
Right. That's right. So. And their similarities are on full display when they're back to back.
Yeah. If Disney could release the whole series on like Blu-ray in order, that'd be dope.
That would be pretty sick.
'Cause I've got the DVDs, but I've got to, watch them in my own order.
Man, I just got the Batman on Blu-ray, and it looks amazing.
Nice.
It really does. Something about like you wouldn't. I guess I used to think like, animation on high def, like it won't matter.
The lines are clean. The colors are striking.
I know. That's the Batman has a lot of like colored skylines and things, and it really it's impressive.
I mean, watching Batman the Animated Series on Blu-ray when they remastered that for that, it was like, I mean, Kendra walked in. And it was just Batman standing there. She's like, "Whoa, look at how blue Batman's cape is." I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
So, and Superman the Animated Series also really got a benefit from that because it was.
Oh, I could see that.
It's daylight. There's a lot more color. Yeah. So it really just kind of pops.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's all about. I mean, reds and blues and things that really stand out.
Yeah. So it's animation can use, and you would think it'd be easier to like clean up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like it would be.
Oh, all right. I know I sound totally like I'm full of health, but I kind
of forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been vertical a bit too long now.
Under the weather. The weather. Okay.
So I gotta go lie down and watch. I don't know. I'm thinking about watching that Almost Famous.
Oh. Okay.
Or The Messenger with Mila Jovovich.
Let me know. Let me know how they go.
I was gonna watch the Kingdom of Heaven, the extended director's edition. It's an extra hour, I think, but it's supposed to be a better movie.
Hey, did you ever watch that extended Jurassic World Dominion?
Haven't yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. No, just curious.
I will.
Well, hey man, Hilary's loss is my gain. I say this episode.
Yeah. See you for Savage Land, Savage Hearts, Nick.
yeah.
When Hilary realizes this is a Garrock episode, she's like, I hate Garrock stuff.
She hates Garrock. Yeah, she's got a list. Yep.
Yeah. She hates Mojo. She hates Garrock, and I don't think she's a fan of the Shi'ar for the most part.
It's gonna be a rough time for her.
Yeah. All right. You think she'd like the Shi'ar because they're bird people, and she likes birds.
She does like birds. She has a bird. Yeah.
All right. Well, again, this.
Do you remember how to
previously? No, I don't. This was previously on X-Men. Join us next episode when Hilary will be back and leading things, and find Nick over on 9021. Here we go.
Yeah. Wow. That was a close approximation of how you guys usually end this show.
Yeah. And you can find me at 90 Pieces Got Me Like. All right.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Go lay down.
Okay.
Lots of fluids.
Yeah. I've had 12 waters today.
That's not enough. Keep going.
I'm going. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Nick.